Halloween is full of conniving characters, scary skeletons, ghastly ghouls, and all sorts of freaky fucks. It makes me nervous. I need to take care of it. I can't let them keep getting away with it. Luckily, we can do that with Painkiller. Originally released in 2004 by Polish developers People Can Fly, it's their first major game before they worked on Bulletstorm and Fortnite and shit like that. Damn. I played this game once like 10 years ago, beat the whole thing, so with it being October again, why not play it again? There's some cool levels in here. We are going to play the game on the Nightmare difficulty because I'm something of an advanced player myself. The story starts with some awesome 2004 pre-rendered CG cutscenes. It's a rainy night, and David and Catherine are taking a ride.
Oh, I can't believe how hard it's raining. We sure picked a great day to celebrate my birthday.
Oh, it's just a little rain. It'll dry.
Mr. Painkiller loses his wife in a car accident. Damn. So Catherine is in heaven, and David is in purgatory. That's what you get for jerking off and saying damn.
Damn, in 1958 when I saw your grandfather being shot in the head by that rotten burglar.
That seems a little bit unreasonable. I don't think you should be in hell for that.
David wants to meet his wife again, so he has to do some dirty work in purgatory to get to heaven. What does that dirty work entail?
Death, killing, stakes, shotguns, miniguns, rocket launchers, grenades, frostbites, zapping, and more.
We gotta blow up a whole bunch of evil stuff and monsters and demons from different time periods while defeating 4 of Lucifer's top dogs. We get sent to Chapter 1. The cemetery, as you might expect, is full of dead guys, but in this case they're not quite dead yet. As we're getting used to the environment and how gloomy it is, some ancient skeleton warriors shoot out from the ground carrying great swords. Time to blow them up. This is back when games would just throw you into the mix and say, hey man, figure it out, kill these demons. Right now, our arsenal consists of a weird saw circle thing, a laser ball launcher device, and a shotgun. For every demon you destroy, a soul will pop out of their body. You want to grab these because they give us a juicy health point. Some classical witches are stalking about too. We'll blow them up too. Fuck them. This game doesn't really mess around. We already blew up a whole bunch of enemies and the game just started. This is the first level. The movement in this game is fun too. Bunny hopping is a mechanic that is intended to be used to your advantage. It has some of that Serious Sam, salt and pepper stirred with some classic Gothic environments. Walking into this church thing, it's a giant mess. Hanging corpses, dudes with swords, some big guy that tries to punch the fuck out of me. Destroying that large fella gives us the portal that marks the end of the level, providing us with a screen full of juicy statistics. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this now. There's a whole tarot card system, which you can use with unlocks you get from doing specific tasks during specific levels throughout the game. These can be placed with coins that you collect from the level. I never really messed around with these because you'd have to replay the game and take notes on what you need to do, or read a guide online to tell you what the secret task is, and I don't really give a shit. I won't be using these during my playthrough. Level 2, more tombs. This time some culty looking guys with axes are trying to slice us up into salami. The variety of enemies in Painkiller is fantastic. Just about every level has some kind of unique enemy in them. Some are melee, some are ranged, some are hit scan, but all can fall to a big ass shotgun blast. When I played this game back in my day, I did it on the medium difficulty where the checkpoints give you 100 health points, but on the nightmare difficulty you get jack shit. Obviously I'm not hurting for health right now, but I'll tell you what, it's gonna suck ass later. This atrium area is full of barrels, and we can blow up these barrels causing big explosions that can kill enemies. Most barrels and crates in the game have a tendency to explode, which is good and bad. Though to be completely honest, these early levels are kind of boring. It's not particularly challenging. The enemies are coming up one at a time, so at some points we're just waiting for someone to shoot, which is not crazy fun. This chamber, on the other hand, is what it's all about. Lunging around, juggling enemies, metal music blaring. It's a good combination of gameplay elements and environmental, gory details. Each weapon has two firing modes. For example, the shotgun has the shotgun blast, as you would expect, but the secondary fire shoots these frozen nitrogen pellets that freeze enemies, allowing you to break most enemies into chunks. We'll be stumbling across more weapons later. We bust this statue and keep on going. Yeah, this sure looks like the opening to a catacomb. My game is super laggy though. Let's see. Maybe turning those off should do it. Oh, my game crashed. Cool. Alright, hang on, one moment. No, I don't need GameSpy Arcade. Come on, load. Alright, that's better. Catacombs, spooky bodies, skeleton warriors with maces. Let's blow them all up. Some big ol' boys bust through these crates, but dispatching them is easy enough. In this level, we find the stake launcher. This is the classic Painkiller weapon. With the power of the stake, we can pin these undead fools to the walls. The stake launcher also has a built-in grenade launcher, so groups of enemies can be taken care of all at once. Another cool thing about Painkiller are the weapon shortcuts. Hitting control shoots the beam thing at any point, no matter which weapon you currently have equipped. Hitting shift shoots a grenade from your grenade launcher, so if you have the shotgun equipped, you can still lob a grenade easily. It almost feels like Doom Eternal with how many buttons you can use during combat and how you can use them per situation. It's kinda cool. And here's the downside of explosive crates. You can get destroyed pretty quickly, and restoring health is typically only possible through gathering souls, although some health pickups are scattered around every now and then. Alright, here we are at our first real boss. These are usually 50-50 between puzzles and combat. They can be kind of frustrating at times, but this one isn't too bad. This guy probably needs to fall in this giant fire pit, but he keeps on following me. Maybe this star on the roof is related to it? Okay, that should probably do it. Get over here, you slob. Man, I fucking suck. God damn it. So it turns out I had the right idea, it just took a few times to have the thing get close enough, then it explodes. This is a common thing in Painkiller. Feedback for player actions during boss encounters is slim and not very clear. Another church, more cultists. Let's do it. Frankly, there's really not too much to say about the level until we get to this giant lumbering fuck in this large chamber. He shakes a whole bunch of stuff and causes stuff to fall from the ceiling. You'll notice this giant circle at the top that shows the health of the boss, and just like that, we are good. Only these floating scythe fellas are left. Other than that, there's some solid wide open areas that we blow up enemies in. And we beat it. Sweet. Alright, here we are, the first general of Lucifer. He'll probably be like 6 feet tall, easy peasy, whatever. Oh, shit, maybe not. We're being stalked by this giant guy in this gloomy area, and he's not joking around. The stake launcher is our only real long-range option, so that's what we're gonna have to be using. This guy has some tricks up his sleeves. He's kind of a trickster. He can rush us, he can whack the earth and pop boners out of the dirt, he can shoot spikes out of the earth by plucking invisible guitar strings, and he can also create giant tornadoes that absolutely destroy any visibility and mobility the player has. Luckily, some ammunition is scattered around, so we will not be stuck without a way to defend ourselves. Slowly and surely, we whittle him down. After we deliver the
Killing blow.
we enter the
Demon morph.
I haven't covered this yet, but once you get 66 kills on a level, the player enters a temporary
Demon morph.
where you are
Invincible.
and you can kill.
Anything with demon energy.
Okay, that guy was really tall. That gets us past the first chapter. Let's keep on going. The next cutscene introduces us to Eve, who makes me have to censor some things just in case. She gives us some more information about where Lucifer's army is headed, and some extra exposition stuff, but honestly, the story isn't anything special. It's all a plot device to have us blow up demons and Lucifer's generals. Chapter 2, Level 1. The prison kind of sucks. We get introduced to some hit scan enemies that we'll be running into going forward. We go from a gothic, crypt, horror vibe to a slimy, greasy, kingpin, life of crime type aesthetic. And I'm not super crazy about it, but it's fine I guess. The close quarters combat is antithetical to the run and gun shooting we got used to. It's not necessarily bad, but prisons are designed to be boring and utilitarian, so it's not very interesting to fight in. It's all close. It's close quarters. I guess it is kind of a hellish environment though, so we'll just blast through it. This guy's getting fucked up though. Jesus. Painkiller definitely has a dark humor to it at times. It has such a ridiculous, over-the-top atmosphere that it's not really scary. It's more like a Halloween scare house. Thrilling, but you know it's just people behind those rubber masks and blood-colored corn syrup. These turrets are bullshit though. They do a whole bunch of damage. Luckily, I think this is the only time we see them in the game. It's so weird. They're only in this one spot that I know of. And we beat the level. Hooray. The Opera House level starts us in a sludgy alleyway, which leads to a gross, sucky basement. One fire escape looking stairway full of enemies later, we get to this gorgeous, expansive opera house. When I think of Painkiller, I think of levels like this. Wide, expansive, movement, launching giant wooden stakes at dumb demons. I definitely don't think of the concrete box levels like the prison. And again, the enemy variety is great too. There's some weird little freaks in this level. The Asylum starts off cool enough with an exterior of a big-ass brick building. We move through a basement and see some ghouls and ghosts. It's a fairly intense atmosphere, and soon enough some zombies start lunging at us. At the end of the day though, it's a close quarters dark corridor level, which is fine, but it's more tedious than fun. Some zombies are crawling along the ceiling, which is definitely bizarre, but this painting is also creepy and bizarre, so it's kind of a weird vibe in here. As the name would imply, we are fighting along a snowy bridge. These ninja sword guys are our main opponent, and they're pretty fun to fight against because they do some big-ass Ninja Gaiden jumps. We also get a new weapon, it's about time. It's a shuriken shooter that has a secondary fire of a Tesla coil-esque laser zapper. It's not all bridgy though. We ride a tram to a warehouse section and fuck some more guys up. Then we ride a tram again across this big-ass canyon. And after that, we fuck some more guys up. Then we beat the level or whatever. The town feels like something from the Souls-like game. Grim, middle-aged plague vibes. People are hanging from nooses. Villagers are throwing gibs of meat at you. And witches are flying around on brooms. It's chaos. It's so much fun. Levels like this yearn for the steak launcher. The level flow of Painkiller is weird. I think this level would have been better on the first chapter next to the Catacomb level. We go from a 20th century bridge environment to hundreds of years prior. Yeah, we are in Purgatory, so it doesn't really matter, but there's no logic or flow. Maybe it's based around the difficulty of each level, but couldn't you tweak that a bit? I don't know. Anyways, we venture down into a crypt and fight a priest guy and beat the level. Boss fights in Painkiller kinda suck. Sometimes you need to shoot them directly, sometimes you gotta do other shit. Most of the time there's no clear feedback as to what you need to do, other than the boss finally taking damage. I've beat this guy many times before, but I never quite remember what to do specifically. Shooting him doesn't work. These bubbles seem to do damage to him, so I'll wait till he walks over them. His gelatinous fists can fuck us though, and he has the tendency to throw these magic exploding orbs at us, which sucks, dude. Can you fucking knock it off, man? It's really pissing me off. So what the player needs to do is shoot all the bubbles around the swamp floor. When he goes around to extinguish the gas bubble fires, you can shoot him for damage. Sure, why not? Alright, let's try that again. Oh, cool, my game crashed. Once you know how to kill him, he's easy enough to beat, but it requires some trial and error to figure out. More dead demons, more cutscenes. We meet some other demon guy that David, seems to be chill with, but Eve is suspicious. I keep calling him Daniel, but it's David. There's too many D names. Demons, David, Daniel, Deve. I'm gonna be sick. Anyways, this guy is super helpful. I'll put my full confidence in him.
Thanks, Daniel. Look, it's okay.
The train station level is cool. It starts off in a gross sewer, but soon enough we are at an old school train station full of hallways and wide open areas. We find the most interesting concept for a weapon yet in the game, a combined rocket launcher and minigun. It makes quick work of these World War I 1914 looking soldiers. This is another classic Painkiller level. It's hard to sell it if you're not playing it. Your mind reaches a flow state consisting of stake, shotgun, rocket, grenade, jump, laser beam, dodge, and then you reach the next checkpoint and do it all again. An abandoned factory. This level isn't bad, but it's not fantastic. It's full of these hit scanners that jump around and blast you with submachine guns, so you have to constantly move around to avoid needing to save scum, which I have already started to do. The freeze blast on the shotgun is extremely helpful for medium-sized enemies because it freezes them, then you can shatter them with the shotgun blast. It's my go-to for these losers. I think these levels aren't that interesting to me because I've been in many factory areas before, in real life and in video games. It's all blocky and oily and not gothically evil enough for me. I want to fight cultists and mythical creatures, not Brad the plumber or Ivan the biker. The military base sucks ass too, but that's probably because I'm comparing it to modern shooters. We've been inundated with modern combat throughout countless first-person shooters by this point in 2024. In 2004, it was a bit of a novelty. Like I was saying, I signed up to fight demons and cultists, not products and systems of the industrial military complex. Corridors, control buildings, hit scanners, radar dishes, tanks, I think my biggest problem is that this level keeps on going. Underground missile silo, check. Giant artillery pieces, check. Abrams tank, check. Giant runways, check. Tired of saying check, check. I thought the mission was going to be done when I reached the top of this control tower. Nope. More tanks, artillery, and soldiers later, we start going through these hangars. Each one has a different layout, but the last one is the coolest part of the level. There's a fucking UFO in here. I think it could have been cool to have this evidence of aliens earlier throughout the level, but either way, we beat it. Thank fuck. We are in the ruins fighting a big-ass hammer guy that I completely forgot about when replaying this game. Although he looks imposing, and although he killed me, he isn't too bad. His hammer contains his life force or demon energy or whatever you want to call it, so we gotta shoot the hammer first. Once we do that, it's phase 2, but his phase 2 is even easier since he runs at us going apeshit and hitting him anywhere does damage. Cool, he's dead. This one is kind of boring. The pompous fuck tells us where to go and to keep on going, and Mr. Painkiller David Daniel is pissed. No cool things happen. As soon as the castle starts, we start getting fucked. These lovely sweet pooches confuse me for a toddler and start attacking me. I make a tactical retreat off the bridge, and I die. What a cool start. I do enjoy this map though. Large towers, trebuchets launching giant rocks. These guys are kind of funny though. I like the weird little freaks in this computer game. Look at them. They're hobbling over to me. The palace is cool. It has a completely different setting than any of the other levels that we've played so far. It also contains large amounts of melee enemies swarming at us at the same time. This could have given us some trouble earlier in our playthrough, but by this point we are stocked with explosive weapons. It's a joy to blow up multiple people with one well-placed blast. We get introduced to these guys that have shields, so taking them out is a bit more complicated than the average Joe, but freezing them appears to be the best way to take them out. Other than that, there's not too much going on, just blowing up demons, shooting stuff, fireworks and explosions and stairways and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. Cool. Babel, the famous tower. As soon as it starts, it's a big-ass mess. The same enemies we were dealing with in the last level are back trying to swing their scimitars at us again. The Tower of Babel has this large outer circle that has a secret on the other side, giving us plenty of health and ammunition, but it's a giant fight to get there. We progress onwards through these crushing block things, but they don't kill me, so take that, you stupid blocks. The freeze blast from the shotgun starts saving us once more. We get a well-timed demon morph and proceed to morph the hell out of a bunch of demons. Some more dogs show up, but they aren't too much to deal with. Boom, done. Okay, the tower sucks. It's an apocalyptic morning, and we have a large demon trying to get at us. This guy keeps flying around and fucking stuff up, but his health is going down pretty fast. Should be easy, right? Yeah, no, he has the tendency to break the floor. Okay, well, no biggie. We took some damage, but we'll take him out. God damn it. I die a whole bunch of times. He goes really fast. Man, how am I supposed to survive this part? I drop like 50 feet and I keep trying to time it right or go to the right spot before he breaks it. So this happened enough times that I actually remembered the one tarot card I picked and placed reduces my damage taken by half, the one I got from the very start of the game. And this is the only time I used it throughout the whole game. So if you're going to replay this game or play it in the first place, you should probably spend some time learning how the fucking tarot cards worked because they saved my ass. And as always, there's a weird trial and error boss thing we need to do. These supercharging statues can only be destroyed while they are charging the demon back up. So after using my rocket launcher and making some shots, he goes down pretty easy.
Have more armies moved?
Oh, look, it's our cool epic friend. No! Our demon friend was evil the whole time. What a bunch of shit. Lucifer himself even steals Eve. Man. So now we're trying to get to hell to save the day, and we are on the way to the final chapter. City on Water is reminiscent of Venice, Italy. Dope-ass bridges, arches, spaghetti, tomatoes, pasta, the usual stuff. I've never been to Italy. I don't know why this level has a bunch of gangster biker enemies on it. It doesn't really feel fitting, you know? I guess it's fine, but can't you have some Italian-themed enemies? At this point, we're just along for the ride. There isn't too much to say at this point because we have our whole arsenal, and the level has many of the same enemies that we fought before. It just looks cool. That's about it. One new enemy are these shotgun skeleton warriors. They're pretty fun to fight, and I frankly love skeleton enemies in any video game. These guys have double-barreled shotguns, so we need to keep on moving. This level feels like it should have been placed in an earlier chapter. We are back to the grungy industrial areas, which doesn't feel fitting to where we are in the story at this point. Lucifer is pissed, and we're doing some shit from like season 2 of The Wire. These nail gun dickwads suck. There's a whole bunch of them. Their nail gun rounds aren't hit scanning, but for as fast as they move, they might as well be. The environment is pretty open though, so that's cool. It's very reminiscent to the abandoned factory level in Chapter 3, cranes, cargo containers, a shipping container super freighter, and that's about it. Let's get off this boat. This level fucking rules. It's the penultimate level of the game, and it feels like it. The old monastery is akin to the types of enemies that we fought in the environments we fought in back in Chapter 1. Cultists and witches, a Gothic monastery crumbling above an endless ocean. This level is a bit more open-ended than the linearity of most other levels. There are these pentagrams scattered around that we need to collect, and these get us towards the end of the level. This requires the player to explore at their own pace through the level, checking out different areas, different buildings. Bells are chiming, creatures are erupting from cave systems. It feels like it's building up to something.
Hell.
We are now officially in hell. This is my favorite final boss atmosphere of any game that I've ever played before. I've never seen an interpretation of hell quite like this. It's one of the things that I remember the game most for. The horrors of medieval combat, devastating sieges, industrial meat grinders of the First World War, destroyed cities and nuclear warfare are all laid out for the player to take in. There's no music during this section as the player is chased by ghosts of the past. It's silent, apart from the clattering of swords, machine gun fire and radio chatter and screams from civilians. We are experiencing this moment sober, centuries of combat stuck in a single moment with all the destruction and pain it entails. It's such a unique environment and it really makes you ponder war and how fucked up it is. The events shown in this level are interpretations on stuff that actually happened in our reality. It really does feel like hell. Shooting the ghosts that spawn in increases our kill counter, and after enough kills, our demon morph strips away the objects in hell and takes us against the Big L himself, Satan, Lucifer, the Big Cheese. He is not too difficult though. We just lay into his fiery red haze with our demon morph energy as we dodge his lunging attacks and meteors that rain down on us. Soon enough we are back fighting the ghouls again, but this time there's music. It's typical Painkiller combat, but the ghosts go down easily with a shot or two from any weapon. For the final level of the game, it's pretty easy. I've died more times on the tower boss than this level. After enough loops and demon morph body blasts, the big loser falls.
Store. I thought I killed you.
Killed me? You can't kill me up there. You simply sent me back here. We can, however, be destroyed down here. Welcome to hell.
Bring it on!
Damn, he's still doing it. Okay, so that's the end of the game, but there's an official expansion pack called Battle Out of Hell. I never played that one, so let's give it a shot. Yeah, about that. Here's the thing, I had already played Painkiller for around 7 hours, and I died a shitload of times in those 7 hours, so I didn't go into the expansion with the most positive mindset. The intro cutscene gives Eve some coverage, so I don't have to censor her Eves, and there's a giant chunk of exposition about how Mr. Painkiller wants to go back into hell to stop the evil guy, and they really lean into a discussion about the next level, an orphanage. It's weird because this level of detail for a level hasn't been done in any previous cutscene up to this point in the original game, so I don't know. So we go to the orphanage, there's a bunch of fucked up dead zombie children stuff, close quarters combat. We have our crappy arsenal again because it's basically a new game. It's not super fun. We get our hands on a new weapon though, so that's nice. It's an assault rifle and flamethrower combo. The next level is this Kittyland themed amusement park place. It's not too bad. Clowns and jesters are attacking us, and I'm not sure if they're rendering quite right. because these strings seem to be hanging from nothing. Is this a magic trick? Am I stupid? Am I kind of over Painkiller at this point while recording the game? There's this roller coaster section, which is neat, but it goes on for quite a while. It's kind of fun, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. The shotgun is the best bet on getting through alive, and any other weapon requires too much aiming while you're moving jerkily on this rail. I'm getting nauseous just looking at it again. We reach this laboratory, which gives us another weapon. It's basically a stake gun sniper rifle with these rebar bolt looking spears that shoot out. This level is fine, it's just a lot of concrete corridors with some astronaut looking enemies. These nurses aren't really scary though. Giant syringes are freaky, sure, but the nurses themselves don't look like fucked up monsters. As far as I know, I'm the real demon going in there and
Shooting everything that moves.
At one point towards the end of the mission, or level, it crashed, so booting it back up after that added another notch to my annoyed meter. Where it really sucks shit is the Pentagon level. This big ass mechanical spider thing is in the middle, and we gotta take it down. Fair enough. I blast itself down to 50% without much trouble, then we get in trouble. A bunch of sparks shoot out of it, that part's easy enough to dodge, but you see these artillery cannons? You need to go in there, shoot its mouth when it's lined up with the artillery cannon, stun it, go into the artillery room, fire it manually, and pray that whole spider is in the right spot. There's no set pattern for the spider, and so when it finally got into the right spot, I fired it, and I did like no damage to it. Oh, fuck off, man, I'm done. I was ready to call it quits. I was already writing the script to this video and everything. Then I watched a YouTube video that showed the boss getting beat in under 4 minutes, so I gave it another shot. Sure enough, I start beating the boss. It turns out that shooting his mouth when it's all zappy allows him to take damage from any kind of weapon. As I mentioned before, it's impossible to tell with bosses in Painkiller if there's some kind of specific mechanic or weak point you're missing. In this level, there's 4 artillery cannons scattered around, so it's like these are probably a key thing I need to do, but it's not really a thing you need to do until you get to like the last sliver of health, and then you can blow them up with it. But whatever, let's keep on going. All that negativity aside, I'm a sucker for desolate city environments. Dead Air is my favorite Left 4 Dead campaign because of this. So when in Painkiller, it does a dead city, I'm giddy. It's basically zombies and mechanical spiders, but the zombies are extremely fucking funny. For example, these guys are just puking on me. Why? A bunch of these fucks are jumping off of buildings and gibbing on the asphalt street. Then after a few seconds, they hook their sausage links back up and start charging me. It's so strange and comedic at the same time. The Doppler effect is great too. There's another bit later on where these guys start throwing globs of meat at us from the fast food kitchen area. I love it. We go on, fight 2 big ol' boys, destroy a spider, and bam. Oh, Leningrad. This level is about as much fun as the actual events in Leningrad during the Second World War. It's not. We take a few steps and instantly get fucking smashed. It's a bloodbath. The city is destroyed. You get swarmed by infantry and tanks as soon as the level begins. They hit you from long range, they hit you from short range. By the time I crossed the first city block, I had already died numerous times. I died so many times. The dead city was a cakewalk compared to this shit. It's oppressively difficult. I regret picking the nightmare difficulty, that's for sure. This level takes all the worst parts of the military-based level from the main game and crams them into extremely small areas, while old-timey Soviet music mocks you from the city loudspeakers. Commissars bust in with killer flare guns and shoot the fuck out of you. And you know what I would want to do if I was stuck in Leningrad during the siege? I'd want to escape. I'd want to go out and eat some food. I'd want to be anywhere else. So you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna do the same here. I don't want to slog through this shit 1 block at a time. I probably should have figured out the tarot cards. I guess we won't be able to show off all the levels in the expansion after all. But you know what? We didn't even do that for the original game. Some missions are reserved for specific difficulties, like the forest level in the original game is restricted to the trauma difficulty only. If you're playing the trauma difficulty, there's no chapter 5 at all. Why? I don't feel like playing the whole game again on a different difficulty, even though a lower difficulty than Nightmare apparently doesn't even have the Pentagon level at all. It feels extremely arbitrary. I don't know why they did it like this. But yeah, that's about it. I don't think I'll ever play it again. It's pretty fun, but you know, I don't want to play other games now. There's a bunch of elements in this game that work, and it holds up fairly well 20 years later. If you think it looked interesting, give it a shot. And if you do give it a shot, I hope you can beat the Leningrad level. You'll be in my thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.